There you go.
Perfect.
I think
Okay.
also fix the echo.
Yeah, it sounds much better. Okay, what do you got, Keith?
All right, do you see my screen?
I can see it.
Okay, so I've just got two things on my end. The first is we want to be able to have some of the people building the SCORM files have access to the either a course or even just like the SCORM file. But I can't figure out how to do that. Like without having somebody purchase the course and then click through and access it that way. Is that the only way?
No, you can. So remember what I said before, it's all about what catalogs they're in or even giving them an enrollment. So are you doing this on, you're doing this on your live system. So do you already have user accounts and everything set up for them?
Not yet, no. And I'm using the live system right now as an example. We're going to put them on the sandbox.
Okay.
I just figured for the sake of this conversation, I'd just do it in here for right now.
So go to Manage Campus. And then do you have a course there that you want to enroll somebody in?
Sure, it could be any of them. Let's just do this one right here.
Okay, so well, that's an organization. Do you have a
so,
course in there, a section?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and you're doing an organization per course?
That's going to be my next question, is how a better way to organize this. So currently, yes, except for some courses have like the Ohio Cosmetology has two, but it's the same course, just one's expired.
Yeah. I mean, the best way to organize it is the way that makes the most sense for you. But here, let me show you how to enroll somebody real quick. So, and there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can make it so that they can self-enroll in things, or you can force the enrollment for them. But go to the catalogs tool.
Catalogs. Would that be in here? Course catalog.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, may I interrupt for one moment?
Sure.
The purpose of this is for our freelancers to test the course before they give it to myself and Keith. So I want them to have the ability to log into the sandbox and do the testing of the courses before it's finalized.
Yeah, Keith can just give them an account in the sandbox. He can set up users and all that.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, or you could. I mean, I imagine Keith is giving you an administrator login to the sandbox too. So, or Sue. Any of you guys could do that. So,
Okay.
yeah, there's nothing restricting you from adding as many administrators as you want, and yeah. So yeah, if you wanted to just give them, and I think that's your best way to do it too, is to just give them full administrative access in the sandbox area, and then let them test away. That way, they're not constantly having to bug you or Sue or Keith. But what you'll need to do though, Keith, is you need to put the course into a catalog first. So hit new catalog, and just call it like testing catalog or whatever. You can change the name later. And then click on the testing node there on the left.
But right here.
Yep.
Okay.
And then add a category. And you can just say test category or new category, whatever you want to call it. And then add items there on the bottom right. And go ahead and add that course to that right there. Yep. And hit done. And now what you would do, now that course is in there, you can go to sharing. and you can just share this catalog, you know, anywhere that you want in your, so just, I would just share it to Michigan Agency Law. Or, you know, within your sandbox, you can do the same thing. So hit the, yeah, hit
Shared.
the check box or share, and then hit save on the right there. And now, anybody that has a subscription to this organization, you can go to their user profile and enroll them in that course. You could do this like if you had, this is really good for like multi-tenant setups where you have maybe organizations that you want to control what content they get access to. You can share catalogs to just certain organizations or whatever. You guys are all doing point of sale, so that's not as big of a deal. But once you have it shared now, just go to your subscriptions tool. I want to see who all's got a subscription here.
This is a new course, so probably not very many people.
Yeah, just pick one of those test ones and right click on it and open a new tab. And then go to there, and then go to enrollments. And hit new enrollment. And then, go and exit out of that real quick. Go back to your other tab. Sorry. They have to have a membership in that. Oh, were they? Oh, they're already enrolled in that course. Never mind. Well, if they weren't already enrolled in that course, you could then go to new enrollments and enroll them from there. But yeah, it's not
Well,
going
how would they show up here? Yeah, how would they show up here if they weren't enrolled or if they don't have a subscription yet?
Just go to add subscribers.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah,
And
everything
click
you can
subscribe
do through
here.
the API, you can do through the through the UI. So
Mhm.
yeah. Yep.
Okay, so then add a subscriber here, or just click subscribe here. Then they'll show up here.
And then you need to give them a membership to the org too, where it's shared to. I know that that seems extraneous, but it's just to control access to it.
And how do I do that?
Hit the drop down. There's a memberships option. And this is if you had multiple groups. This is where, and then you can just hit add member right there. But they all have memberships anyway. So,
Okay.
but yeah, if you're doing it manually, all this is being done automatically on the back end through the API, right?
Mhm.
But you'll have to do all this manually for your testers and just add a membership. So you go to add membership, and then it'll show you all the subscribers. Of course, all your subscribers already have memberships. So.
Okay. And then so once I add them as a subscriber, and then well, let me get back to what was that? It was
What are you trying to get to?
The page I was just on, subscriptions. Okay, so once I add them as a subscriber in this box, that's it. I don't need to do anything else here.
Once you make them a subscriber and give them a membership, depending on how you have that sandbox set up, they can either just log in and they will see that catalog listed under Find More Training, or you can go to their profile, which is open in that other tab, and you can enroll them from there using new enrollment. It's not going to show that course here because they're already enrolled in it.
Yeah.
You can't put somebody twice in a course.
Okay. All right. I think I'll need to play with it to fully grasp it, but this is enough to get started, I think.
Well, do you want to go through and set up your sandbox right now?
Okay, let's do that. Let me
should be on beta.
Yeah.
Beta.nextportcampus.com.
All right, so this is the sandbox. I already set up a test course and it's already got the SCORM file uploaded.
Okay, go to catalog.
Catalogs, okay, new catalog. I'll just keep it new catalog for now.
Yeah, you can go back and rename it, make a category.
New category,
Yep, and then add items.
add items, add this, done.
Yep. Go to options real quick. I just want to see what options it has by default. Available to members. Yep, that's good. And then go to sharing.
Sharing,
And
okay.
I would just share it. I mean, if this is safe, just share it with Ed Pathways at the root.
Okay,
Share with new descendants. And then share descendants also. There we go. See how it checks all of them and before it gets saved. And then, so go look at your test course organization. Okay, go ahead and hit the drop down and go to memberships. I want to see who all's got a membership in
there's
there.
probably nothing in here.
Because the sharing is all based on memberships, not subscription. That's because you can have groups underneath of your org, which are for segregating people into different areas within an organization. Go to add members. Who are you whatever account you're logged in as. Give it a second to come up. And then, oh, you're not already subscribed. So give yourself a subscription to this. Yep, add subscribers. Subscribe. That's fine, just hit OK. And then go to membership. Now add members. There you go, hit add. Now go to my training at the top left. And then go to organizations drop down up there because you're multiple, and go to test course organization, then go to find more training, and then there's your catalog.
Okay,
And then click on the course and you can enroll in it right from there.
okay.
And
And
you
then
could
how would I view the course now?
go to enrollments.
Got it. Okay, cool. This is,
And
I'm
well,
not sure why that's doing that, but it's probably because I didn't set it up right. I'm not too concerned about that.
I think
Let me just check it, but I'm pretty sure I didn't really pay too much attention. I was just
I think you probably set it up and then deleted the
okay, I'm not sure why it's
couldn't hit the search at the top. Yeah, you don't have any courseware assigned to it. There you go.
Yeah, okay.
I think you deleted the courseware after creating the assignment.
Yeah, that makes sense. I just want to get something up quick, so I wasn't really too concerned about that. So then this should come up. There we go. Okay.
Now, and what you could do, so you could set up a separate section for each course that emulates your sections that you're going to set up on Nextport. Now, the nice thing, so here's the thing, if you QA on the sandbox though, you're not going to be like, if you have your whole section set up with the with the welcome assignment and all, and whatever you set up in as part of your section, you can't copy that all over to back to Nextport. Does that make sense?
You broke up a little bit. You said you can or you cannot.
You cannot copy it back over to production.
That's fine, because this is all we want this for is for the SCORM people to be able to test their SCORM files. So
Their
we're not going to
yeah.
go through the whole course and the certificates or anything. And we don't want them to have full admin access to the production.
Yeah. And you could set up a sandbox organization on production and just give them access to that. You understand that, right?
Oh, I didn't realize that. We could figure that out at some point. Because really all they're testing is the SCORM file, so that's not really going to slow us too much down if I need to replace the SCORM file.
That's fine. I get it. Yeah. And it's a lot of stuff to set up. So yeah, and so two different things that I see that you could do though is you could either somebody breaking up on the other end, or
Not on my end.
if you're not muted, go ahead and mute, guys, when you're not talking. That includes Doug. So what you could do is you could set it up to where you have a single test course or section, and you can just drop new assignments in there for each. They can drop a new assignment in there for each courseware module they're testing, or you could set up a separate section for each courseware module.
Oh, I like that. So what I could do is,
because now once they're already enrolled, they could just add assignments. When you add an assignment, then it's just going to show up in that list on the left.
oh, so they don't have to do it. Okay, I understand. Yeah, that's
Open
great.
it up in a
That's
separate tab, like open up administration in a separate tab. And then go in there and add a new assignment.
Add a new one right here, and they could just have a list of all their SCORM files, and then
Yeah.
yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. And that way they don't have to go finding more stuff to enroll in. And
Yeah.
now that you got your catalog set up too, anything you drop in that catalog will be visible to anybody that's a member of those organizations.
Yeah, so all I need to tell them and to do anything is to upload the courseware and then add a new assignment and then hook that up.
Yeah, that may be the fastest way of doing it.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's perfect.
But you want to QA some other thing,
I QA everything else. This is just for them.
Yeah. So, okay. Yep.
Okay, great. So that's the first question. Second question, I think is probably more tailored to Brian. Is just trying to figure out the best way to move these. I talked with Brett and she said it would be easiest if we put everything in states and then all the states inside of those, I don't know if they're groups or organizations, but that would be easier for her. And as far as I'm concerned,
Well,
that's fine.
there are some other questions though before we make that decision, right?
Okay.
And that really is like the way but also what's the experience like? The big thing is what is a difference in an organization and a group? The big thing with the organization is you get to change that logo that shows up there at the top left and some of the other stuff that displays. So is the student experience and the logo going to be different for Texas ACR, Texas Cosmetology, and Texas Cosmetology Renewal? Or
No,
is
it's
it
all going to be just Education Pathways logo.
okay? And then the next thing is,
Well, hold on, Paul, is that true? Everything in Texas will have the same logo. I guess that might not be true because Easy CUs or
Our logo is Education Pathways for now on, Keith. We're not using Education Pathways, Easy CUs on the bottom of it.
So we're never going to use the Easy CUs logo.
No,
Okay, great. Okay, so then yeah, so then that's going to be the same logo for everything.
correct.
okay, so then for organizing, the only thing to think about is that if you put all of your sections for Texas into one organization, you're just going to have more sections in there to peel through. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
But it also may make more sense if you're dealing with all the Texas stuff in one big group. Also for reporting, do you want to how do you want to split up your reporting? Is it going to be based on the section that they're enrolled in or the organization that that section belongs to?
Paul, do you know that? How you'd like the reporting for each section or each course in a state?
I'm trying to understand this a little clearer.
I don't think it's anything that can be answered right now, Keith and Paul. I don't.
Okay.
I'm throwing all this out there just for thought. I don't. Each of our partners has a different way of running their stuff. You know what I'm saying? We've got some things that make things easier in the long run. That some partners have done, like for instance, some partners will store all of their sections in a single organization, and then they share them out from that organization down to the places where they belong. The reason they do that is they may have a staff of instructional designers that they give access to that content repository organization is what they'll call it. And then that way they don't have to give them access to everything else. You guys are a little more homogenous than that, so that may not make sense for you guys. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Well, we will be audited at one time by a commission or whatever organization is overseeing our profession that we're licensed through. I
Yeah.
have been reading that through the rules and laws and statutes that we will be audited at one time. So I want to make it as easy as possible for a commission or the authority to come in and not go through the whole system and be able to access the reports easily.
Yeah. And a lot of that's going to be on a course by course basis or something. So I think Brett's got a good point though about, I think it'll make your tree easier to visualize on the left side there is if you do an organization for each state and then just create all the courses for that state in that organization. So have a Texas organization, and then within that Texas organization have a Texas cosmetology section, a Texas cosmetology renewal set, all of that, rather than having a separate organization for each individual course.
Oh, okay. I thought she said, and I'm probably misunderstanding her. I thought she said have a separate folder / organization / group for each state, and then inside there have another organization for each course. But you're saying just one organization for each state, and then a section, each section would be a different course.
Yeah, just have all the sections in there for that state. Like if you go to the sections tool, you can see that you can have like thousands of sections in a single
okay, that makes sense.
Organization.
Trying to see if there would be any problems with that. I can't see any of this.
The things that change, like, and that you're looking at the right stuff too. Like if any of that stuff has to be unique for a specific course, even though it's in the same state, like if it needs different custom profile fields or it needs different notification settings or something, then it might start looking like you should have a separate organization per course for that course. I don't know.
And that's something I don't even know if we know yet. Like, Paul, would someone have,
I think
someone in Texas have different license numbers?
Each profession is run differently. We're going to be licensed in the state of Texas for real estate. That is a completely different organization.
And then so theoretically, somebody could be a real estate agent and a cosmetologist and have two separate license numbers.
I guess.
Is that something we need to factor in?
That actually
They could have more than one license number.
we have professions now where there are learners that have dual licenses in construction, where they can be they have a mechanical license and also have a general contractor's license. I
Or
just
they
went
might
through
have
that last
electrical
week.
or plumbing.
Correct. So
A
that,
friend
you
of
know,
mine
the
has
problem that we're having right
general
now.
and yeah, a friend of mine has general and electrical.
Correct.
So, yeah, so I would say get a
So
good
that may be
understanding
doing
of all
what
this,
I originally thought.
but you may want to just keep it the way you've got it right now. And then later on, maybe decide, yeah.
I mean, that would be great to keep it now until we get some more experience to know which direction we want
Yeah,
to commit
That's what I
to.
mean, let it evolve out.
But Brett is saying that this is making her life really hard to not have it in. I'm not really sure how. I understand it could do that, but I'm not really sure technically why. But so that's why we were looking at this now.
I don't know if it's making her life really hard. I think she had planned that each state would be in the same organization, but I don't think that's, no, I wouldn't stress over that.
All right, well then why don't we put a pin in this? We'll keep going how we're going. Eventually, I agree that this is going to become really messy, but until we really decide which direction, because it'd be nice to not be switching it back and forth a bunch of times, so we can sort of get some more data and figure out which direction we want to head in and then make that decision.
Yeah, like these sort of taxonomies are always the most difficult part, because if you guys are really successful, that tree that list on the left there is just going to get really big.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be really big in the next 2 weeks just alone. So I think once we have more information about it, we can make a better decision.
Yeah. But even if you just had it an org per state, then you're just looking at now you'd have 50 organizations, right? And then and then everything for each of the states underneath of the state. So I don't know, just something to think about.
All right. Well, check with Brett and see if she agrees that she can work with this for right now, and then maybe we'll give it a couple more weeks because I know we're going to be adding a bunch more courses in that time frame, and then we'll look at it again if that works on your end.
Yeah, that works.
Cool. All right. Well, those are my 2 questions. So that's all I've got at the moment.
Okay. So you've got the sandbox set up. Is with the single sign-on, you're having them come in to the My Training page, or how are you having them?
I changed it. So now they're coming into the opposite of what I was originally doing. So they're coming in, they can see the list where they can download their certificate right there. I don't know exactly which we're calling that, but it's that one.
Okay. Some of our partners, are you still having the Chrome turned off with that?
I think I have got it on, if I remember correctly. The logo's up there, the navigation's there.
Oh, okay. Then the Chrome is on. Okay.
May I see that, Keith?
Yes. Let me
Some of our partners will actually use an iframe and have it show up inside of their site in an iframe.
I tried that at one point, and then
it does introduce a lot of other things you got to work around, though.
Yeah. All right, let me show Paul what this looks like. So I'm going to log in as this guy. So click on view course. This is what they see. This is what they see. And I can click here and then it goes to the course.
So this is what they initially see.
No, they initially see. Let me go back. Oh, it's in a different tab. This is, they see, ignore this thing at the top. This is just a
Yeah,
notification.
I
that they're
understand.
logged in. So they see course name here, click view course, then it goes to this page. Depending on
Okay.
which course they click
And
on.
then this is the first thing that they see.
Yeah.
There isn't any instructions on here of what they need to do.
This is what they see. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, I mean, this is what they see. There isn't any instructions, or there aren't any instructions. I mean, not to click here to start course. We need some type of instruction. I've been told that, you know, from a Jack Sparks, that it was confusing. So I'm just trying to see how we can make this more user-friendly. And I think instructions would make it more user-friendly.
Is that something we can add? Is like there an option in there, Dan, for instructions on this page?
Trying to think what could be done on this. One of the things that I saw there is your thing is like view course, and then it's not taken to the course, it's actually taken to the course listing.
Yeah, is there a more direct route when they hit view course to actually go to the course?
Well, that's what we were doing last time, but that opens up that can of worms where they, if there's an expired course, then they can't get their certificate.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we don't want to do that. Okay. Is there any way to customize the bar where it says, can you go back to the other page, Keith, please? Like where it says title, is that bar customizable? Could we add information to that bar?
It's not customizable. Let me see
No.
what we can. We've got a point release coming out. Let me see what we can do in this next point release. But there's nothing we can customize on that now.
Okay,
Not without being a full release that comes out.
okay. Hello?
Now I'm thinking,
Oh,
sorry,
okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know if I lost you. It was complete silence.
trying to think if there's something I'm not thinking of. You can change where it says enrollments and progress report to read something different. That's funny. Nobody else has ever brought up that they didn't know what to do here. But I can see that. I can see somebody not realizing that they should click on that link maybe.
Yeah, I'm only, you know, expressing what people have told me, you know, relaying it to you that.
Let me see what we can come up with. You may want to change that link though to say, you know, maybe you don't even want to list the courses there and just say go to course listing. I don't know.
But then it's
Keith?
an extra click. I don't know. I guess maybe that's all. Maybe that makes sense.
So when you click the progress report, may I see what that looks like? Okay. So there isn't any information that pertains to how long it took them to take the course.
This is a user that has not even started the course yet. So
May we go to a user who has taken a course so we can see exactly what data is being collected through the LMS system?
Yes.
Do you want to see what they see, or do you want to see the administrator view of a user?
I want to see what the learner sees.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna have to guess a couple of times. Let me see. Someone probably who would have. You think this guy completed the course? Let's see.
Keith, I have someone ready if you want me to share my screen.
Okay, sure. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, sorry, I forgot we were in Zoom instead of Google, so. Here we go.
Still not seeing anything.
Well, Keith, I think that person you had up would be fine.
Okay, let's go back to there.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
I just happened to, I think, grab a lucky one. Okay, so this is what this is someone who completed it, Paul.
And you can look at progress report, shows everything they've completed in the past, what their score, percent done, when their enrollment date and completion date was. And they can also view their certificate from here.
Paul, is that what you want to see? Paul, is that what you were looking for? Did I lose you guys?
I could hear you. Is Paul still on? Or?
I'm sorry,
I
I
can hear
was
you fine.
muted. I apologize. I thought there was a little bit more detailed information, but I guess that's all that the learner needs to see.
We don't want to flood them with too much information.
Yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine.
And they could see a lot on their certificate also. And then of course an administrator can see a lot of details that the student can't see.
Okay.
Take down the certificate.
Say that again.
Can you actually bring up the certificate right here on this page?
And click on that certificate icon.
Okay, there it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
they just click on that little icon and that'll bring up their certificate.
And
Okay.
an administrator can also go to their profile and download their certificate too.
Can a certificate be changed if they spell their name wrong or put in the wrong license number?
Yeah, you can actually. So, I mean, of course, you'd have to edit their stuff, but then you go to their profile. So go to user management, like bring that user up in user management.
Oh, that's why.
You're logged in as the wrong guy.
I guess it was, I think his name was Rudd. No.
So my question is, Dan, is if a learner was to spell their name
Two
incorrectly
users.
when they,
Yeah, so I'm going to show you how to do that.
not what I was going to ask is, does it have to be done through the LMS system, or could it be done in Woo where they have the ability to change their name
No,
or input the right license number?
no,
No?
no, because That's a locked certificate.
Yeah,
Okay.
the certificate lives in the LMS. I don't even, yeah. Yeah, there's no
You
way
don't
to,
want them to have that kind of ability.
yeah, because
Because
then
they
they
would
would
just
just
go off
change
and
it
start
to,
printing
they
them
would
all.
change it to their buddy's name and just distribute certificates for $5 a piece. But if you go to academic tools and where it says regenerate certificate, so if you hit that, it'll force the certificate to be regenerated using the current.
So we just update the user's name in their profile in Nextport and then click regenerate certificate.
Yes.
Good. And then if Sue, if needed to download the certificate for any reason, she could just click this view certificate button.
Yep. And you can also academically override everything there on that bottom part. So
Mhm.
if you want to, if something went wrong or you need to update information or whatever, or somebody successfully argues that they should have gotten a higher score and you just want to artificially change it, you can do that for the whole course, or you could do that on an assignment by assignment basis by selecting the assignment from the left side.
And when you do that, it does show that it was an academic override and shows who did it and when.
Yep, that's why it forces you to fill out a reason when you academically override.
And just for clarification, Paul, you wanted Sue to be set up with standard tier 1 type access to be able to go in and do that part.
Correct.
Yeah, Keith should be able to do that though. Keith, you could set her permissions and stuff.
Okay, well then while we're here, how do I do the permissions? So does Sue have an account yet? I didn't create one. Did anybody else?
Go to Manage Campus. And then hit the drop down there and look at your permissions tool. And this is where you would grant. So this is on an organization by organization basis. So if she's going to be at the Ed Pathways level, go ahead and select Education Pathways on the left side there. And then you can grant her whatever level of permission she needs. If you think that none of the built-in roles, like if you hit the drop down for the roles there, properly address the permissions she needs, like if you want her to have something close to org administrator, but maybe a few permissions you don't want to give her, you can go to the roles tool and set up custom roles within the organization.
Roles tool would be in here somewhere.
Yep, right down there.
Okay.
And then the roles tool will let you move all the permissions from the right side to the left side. And you
Got
just select which role you're editing up there at the top.
Okay.
And you can create new roles down there at the bottom.
Okay.
That if you hover over a role, it tells you what that role does.
Yeah, that's cool.
Or permission, I mean. So yeah, you add one or many permissions to a role, and then you grant roles to users.
Okay, that's easy enough.
And whatever role you grant to them, they're going to get those permissions all the way from that point in the tree down. So
Mhm.
that will apply automatically to all of the child and all the descent or the descendants of that node, all the children, their children.
Mhm.
So yeah, if you set it up under Texas, she would only have Texas and no other states.
Yeah. Well, we want her to have everything, so I would imagine.
Right.
So we'll just do it
It's
right.
just for future if you need to do that for
Yeah, good
control on
point.
somebody.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. That's everything I think that I've got. Is there anything else? Anybody else?
Well,
Yeah.
yes. So Keith and I have been, I've been discussing with Keith about having certain features in the dashboard of the learner where they cannot download their certificate of completion until they complete a evaluation form of the course, a course evaluation form? Is that something that is possible?
Yeah, there's two ways you can do that. You can either add like a survey assignment, or you can do it with the with custom enrollment fields.
Survey assignment sounds good. So I just would come here, survey assignment, add assignment.
Yeah, and you just have to set up a you set up a test first, and so basically it's like administering a test, but it doesn't get graded or anything.
And
It
in
just-
doing that, will it have their information, their credentials on it? We can't have that. It has to be anonymous.
For it to be completely anonymous.
Correct.
Yeah, you select the is anonymous option there.
And then that's completely anonymous.
Man, I'm not gonna lie, it's been probably a couple of years since I've walked anybody through this feature. I know that some others use it. Brian, are you guys using this anywhere? I mean, anywhere else?
Not the survey. No, we're not using that in, as I know, we're not using it anywhere.
Trying to remember.
How do
I
you
mean-
do evaluations?
We just use tests, not surveys.
Then use test.
How do we do
Right.
tests?
Well, it's the same way. It's just another assignment type. But you would add tests and surveys there. So go to tests and surveys, and then hit add. And then you would give
Oh,
it a
wait,
name.
hold on. Let me do this in a course that's not live. All right.
So you'll need to add, first of all, you need to add a question bank. So close out of this. Go to question banks. And then hit add question bank, and then call it, I don't know, survey questions or something like that. And then edit it, hit the edit button next to it. Go ahead and add one question.
Then just apply.
And then hit the select the type of question there. Single select. Give it a new option. Give it some question text there. So and then the type, give it another, and give it an option. It's a single select, so you got to give it options. Hit new option. You know, and then what was the question again that you put up there?
What is your favorite color?
Okay, then put in red for the first option. You can include images or whatever, and then hit new option at the bottom again, and say blue.
Got it.
And then save it. Oh,
Okay.
select the question at the top instead of open-ended question. Go to the top. There you go, and then hit save it. Oh, select the correct answer. Sorry. Just hit the incorrect. There you go. Blue's
What does
fine.
that mean?
What do you mean?
That-
It won't matter for a survey, so I would.
Okay.
Yeah. And then now go back to the tests and surveys area and hit add. And then hit add question bank. Hit the little search there. It'll give you survey questions. There you go. Hit done. Wait, what happened? Did it add it? Hit add again? Oh.
Let me save.
There
There,
we
I
go.
don't think I did that the first time.
And then hit done. There you go. Okay. And now go to your course live. Edit it. Hit
Oh, you said
assignment.
the assignments, right?
Yep. Now you're going to add a survey assignment to it.
Survey or test?
Survey assignment. Test will force them to have correct answers and all that.
Uh,
Basically the same, but
Hey, Dan, is this gonna cost us any money for them to fill out this form and submit it in this manner?
yeah, it's per assignment completion. So this would be an assignment completion.
So this would be considered an assignment completion.
Yep. Give it a title.
and then I can click this and it's fully anonymous.
Anonymous should be, yeah. I'll have to check on that. Or Brian, if you guys could check on how the anonymous behavior on that works.
Yeah,
then-
I'll go ahead and I'll test it.
And then grading strategies not graded, and then hit save. For that,
And then I'd have to do the prerequisites, which I do for all the other ones.
you'd have to set up the prerequisites so that and then you probably want to reorder them, put the certificate. Yeah. And then and that's it. That should be all you have to do. And then you can either bring up the answers individually per student, or you can do a big report on everybody's answers and download it from analytics. I recommend using the test item IDs. That way, so if you go to your question bank for auditing this stuff, so hit edit on there. See how you've got the ID on the left there, and it assigns the ID automatically, but you can assign any ID you want to that question. If you're really tracking survey questions and that sort of thing, it's really good to have a unique ID that you assign to each question. So
Okay.
instead of letting it be assigned by the system. That way, later on, if you decide to retire a question and assign its ID to a different question, it makes it a little easier on your reporting.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not.
I'll play around with this. We've got to come up with some questions, so we'll work on this, and if we have any questions, I'll let you know.
Yeah, but that's basically it right there.
Okay.
So. And then, yeah, once you've got a test set up and you have that assigned, so you might have the same test that's used by multiple sections or multiple courses. That way, and you can only share those tests amongst an organization. So another good reason to have maybe one organization per state also. That way, if you've got a survey that's exactly the same for 5 different courses, then it may make sense to have that, but you can also download a spreadsheet of the questions and then upload them to another, or you can also
I can import them.
You could also import them, yeah. From the
Okay.
spreadsheet.
Yeah.
So if you wanted to send a spreadsheet off to somebody, have them fill it out and then just import it, you can do that. There's a link there to the template, to the spreadsheet template.
Okay, cool. All right, makes sense. Paul, do you got anything else?
By the way, this is another reason to use the unique IDs, because it will replace questions based on that question ID also.
Mhm.
So if you're like willy-nilly about the IDs, and then later on you decide you want to be able to, really control the way that questions are replaced and that sort of thing, you'll have wished you paid attention to how the IDs were being assigned.
Yeah.
My question is, has anything been found incorrectly done with the SCORM file for the Florida contractors course? and the advanced module? Like, what was the final conclusion on that, Doug? Of why?
From what
we're
I have
having-
seen, yeah, Brian may have another update or Dan might, but from what I've seen on the courses, it didn't look like the SCORM package was actually communicating with Nextport. It also didn't look like the SCORM package was saving any of the data as far as the advancement through the course. It looked like it was doing an all or nothing. Did you have an update on that, Brian or Ryan or Dan?
That's the extent of what I was able to find out is, yeah, in my testing, it looked like it wasn't. Now, this is for the Florida Advanced Mechanical Code. That's the course that I was looking at. That course, every time you went into it, it started over. So it didn't appear that the course, the SCORM module, was saving progress on that course.
So that is something on our end, that the SCORM file is being written incorrectly?
Right. Yes. Yeah. The setup on the SCORM part of the course. Yes.
So
And
it's
the
not,
course is being created in, what's it being created in again, Paul?
that course was created in Adobe Captivate. All the
Captivate,
other
okay.
courses are being designed in Articulate 360.
Yeah, it sounds like sounds like the course just isn't storing progress.
So
Because
why
that
does
should
it,
just be an option within the course creation, whether or not it's supposed to store the progress.
Yeah, those courses are each of those tools is proprietary, and the way that they store progress is going to be different between tools.
So Paul, I think you gotta talk to, was it Nirmal or whoever made that SCORM file and just let them know that it's not saving progress. I think it's something they gotta fix.
well, I was also having an issue with the contractor 13 hour.
Did the same person make it in the same way?
Well, yeah, Normal has done all the courses.
Yeah, so he probably did the same thing to both of those courses incorrectly.
How about the one
Yeah,
you
and
guys
part of the
ran
problem-
in January? What that one worked, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, these are the only two courses that people are complaining about.
Who developed that one?
Normal's developed all of them.
Oh, okay. I thought I remembered
But
talking.
you said one was done in Captivate, you said? Was that the first one?
Correct. The advanced module was designed in Adobe Captivate, and all the rest have been designed in Articulate 360.
And I think one of the biggest problems is just when they're doing their testing, Dan, they have their own LMS that they're testing it on. And I'm not sure how much testing they actually do, if they're testing for saving the progress, or what they're doing as far as testing, because it really needs to be tested. It needs to be in the sandbox so it can be fully tested.
So I discussed that with Nirmal, and that's what this meeting is about today. He will have access to the sandbox, and moving forward, all courses will be tested in our LMS sandbox moving forward.
Hey,
That'll
can
be
one,
awesome.
can one of you guys demonstrate, like Brian, could you demonstrate the problem happening for us? Or Keith?
Brian, if you know I don't really know exactly what the issue is. I mean, I could try pulling out my screen and walking through it, but if you happen to have it right in front of you.
Well, I do have it here. I can log in as the student and show you that it restarts. Is that what you're looking for, Dan?
Sure. I
Okay.
mean, is that the problem that the students are complaining of?
That was the email that I received. Yeah, it was a student. He had completed half of the course, came back the next day and logged in, and he had to do the course all over again.
And he
That
couldn't.
was one of the
keep his cer-
problems. The other problem was the end, at the very end of the lesson. It wasn't really closing out the course, and it didn't seem like there was a good option for the student to do anything.
Oh, right. It has those. Yes, that's correct. It has those 3 buttons, and all of the 3 buttons. It really is not straightforward as to, click this to continue forward. So I think they.
Or actually, just click this to finish.
Right. Click this to finish. Yeah.
What's the name of the student? Or did they end up finishing the course, or?
They were able. Yeah, they were able to finish one of them. They have a certificate for one, but they don't have a certificate for. They have a certificate for the contractors, but not for the advanced mechanical codes. So it looks like they got a certificate for the 13-hour, but not for the 1-hour mechanical codes course.
What's the name of the user?
Carl Wenholz, WEINHOLD, Wenholt.
So where my concern is why would he be able to complete it a second time when he wasn't able to complete it the first time? Is it because he stopped the middle of the course and then began again? Or is it because he got to the end and it wouldn't issue him a certificate? But then he logs back into the course and he's able to finish the course and receive a certificate, and it's reported as completed. So it's not making sense to me. If that was a SCORM problem, it would be there every single time.
Okay, so he finished Florida Contractors Renewal 13 hours. And then he is in the middle of taking Florida Advanced Mechanical Code 7.
So he told me he completed both of these courses.
Let's see where he got on this one. Oh, shoot, sorry, wrong. So he got to okay, so now, I mean, he thinks he finished them, right? He did get a 70 out of 100 listed for Florida Advanced Mechanical right here, but it didn't mark him as completed.
Well, that's just the score he needed, Dan. He needed the 70. I don't show that it's. I don't see where it says that he actually completed.
Yeah, no, I get that.
Oh,
So I mean, yeah, I don't know if, but I mean that doesn't mean anything. The SCORM courses have to tell us that they're completed. You know what I mean? Like if you look at this other one here that he took, Florida Contractor Renewal, it actually told the LMS that he was finished with a 70, and it set a completion date.
I understand, but we've had other learners take this course that has if it was a SCORM problem, it would be there every single time. And it's not. I've reported this course, I think 3 times or 4 times so far.
Who did you report it to?
The DBPR. But I'll talk to Nirmal and I'll have him go through the SCORM file again.
Yeah, so it's put back a lesson status of not attempted. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to try impersonating him and see what happens when I go to that course. Wait, which one was it? He's having problems with the mechanical codes. Bring that up. Okay, so it says he's in progress. Click here. Yeah. So it brings it up. Okay, so this course is already in progress. Bring up the console so you can see what's written here. Other session, yes. Bring that up. Okay, so it sets the suspend data to whatever this is, and you can see that all looks like gibberish, right? That's because whatever those third-party tools store in the suspend data is like whatever is important to them. Some of them will use the lesson location, which this one's setting it to slide 1, but there's no, so it's setting the lesson location to slide 2, right? So I'm on slide 2 right now. So if I go back to the welcome screen and hit continue anyway, and then I come back. Get value, it got value at slide 2 right here. So we returned to slide 2, which was what it was set at before. But hit the button there. Oh, and it returns to slide 2 right there. So if I go to here to this page here, set the value to sections page, come back to welcome. It's returning, it's remembering right here where it left off.
So that's why I was trying to explain to you that it's happening sporadically. It's not occurring every single time. So my understanding, it wouldn't be an issue with the SCORM file. If there was a problem with the SCORM file, it would be happening every single time if the SCORM file was written incorrectly.
Well, the course could, I mean, the SCORM, I'm not deprecating that, but the SCORM course could be sporadically not writing the location or some other problem too. I mean, we have hundreds of thousands of hours of SCORM courses running in Nextport right now without this problem.
Okay.
And the course, did the course last in January have this problem?
This course has this problem since the very beginning.
Well, I mean, the one that was in the one that you guys finished in January, Ohio Cosmetology, or?
No, we haven't. We had other issues where the courses were spinning. They weren't loading.
That issue is unrelated to the SCORM files. That was the API that we fixed. Dan, is it possible that maybe the SCORM file, like even though it's showing the location right here, that for some reason it might not be showing the location on page 70 or something?
That, and see, that's what I say, that is all controlled by software that's built into that zip file. by JavaScript that's all there. So if they have like, yeah, if there's something on page 70 that decides to null out the location values, then that's also a part of that's also a problem in the SCORM file. Or
Yeah,
in the,
Paul. So that could be maybe something to talk to is it Nirmal about, is to have them. I don't know if they're how you debug that, but maybe someplace in the SCORM file it's not setting the location, or if it's happening to a bunch of people, it's probably not on a single page, but maybe like the second half of the course or one of the sections isn't spitting out the location is a possibility, maybe.
yeah, because it
Yeah.
could be like he might have like there might be a page where there's where it like, you know, and you would see it like set the lesson location to null or empty value or something like that for some reason. The other thing that it's not doing here that I notice that we had talked about on that last course is it's not calling commit. It's not calling LMS commit after every page. And I know they had a setting that they had turned on the last one that would commit after every page. So like none of these values are actually going to be stored back to the back end of the LMS until the course calls LMS commit. So if you've got a student that goes through the whole course and then just exits out of the page improperly or something like that, and LMS commit hasn't been called, then that would also lose their location.
So like on that test you just did, Dan, where you went back to page 2, it did not do a commit. So that means if you had just closed the browser, lost power or whatever, that when you went back in, it would not have gone back to page 2.
It depends on the browser and a lot of other things, but yeah, so like where I went back to the welcome page here, like for instance, what do we?
Yeah, but I'm just saying there you're just logging back to the welcome page and back in again.
Like if I just leave and it says I'm on slide 10, it's going to try and do a commit here. I think, yeah, it failed because we're. See how it's
But
trying.
it really should be doing a call. Be really doing a call commit after every page, really.
Yeah, and we had talked with the developer the last time and explained that to them, and there was an option in their tool that would do that.
Yeah, this is a completely different freelancer from that call. That was Omar and his team. And that's
Omar, that was the guy. Omar seemed pretty solid.
He wasn't.
Oh, really? Okay,
Yeah.
maybe he wasn't then.
Yeah, Numar is very intelligent, and I trust him. I will discuss this with him, that it's not sending a commit.
Yep, that was it. Because look, if I just close the browser window, it doesn't remember where I was, because they're not committing, and they should be. And that's in our. So aren't they the guys that we sent the docs to on that? So if you send them, this is we had sent this.
I don't think so. Dan, I think you're talking about the previous group that he had doing the courses.
Yeah, I think so too.
I don't think this new group ever got those documents. At least I don't ever remember sending them. I don't know if somebody else did.
So I'll send you guys this link again, but SCORM best practices. Yeah, one of them is call LMS commit often. So I'll send you guys this link. I'll put this in the chat again, and you guys can send them that as well. But yeah, I think it might have been Omar's guys. Is that who did the course that you guys ended up launching in January, or?
Everything has been redone by Numal. But like I said, it is being done in a different software, so
So that's the one that we talked to them about last time, though, was calling LMS commit after every page. Or at the beginning of every page, whatever, however, I don't know, each tool's gonna have something different, or they may be hand coding it, I don't know. But they can add that LMS commit call. I think what your users that are having the issue are doing is they're exiting out of their window at an inopportune time. And it's not because LMS commit hasn't been called, it's not storing it. And that is a part of the SCORM specification. If the SCO does not, the SCO doesn't call LMS commit, there is no expectation that information will be stored for the next, for when the course comes up.
Okay, and Ryan, can you copy that link that he posted and email that to everybody? So if they've got it in email, rather than just the chat. Ryan, are you still on?
Oh, yeah, I can. I thought you said Ryan.
Yeah, I
Sorry.
wasn't sure if you were saying Brian or Ryan. I copied it. Right? I copied the link as well.
Actually, I said Ryan, but yeah, either one.
Okay, yeah, I got a copy. Sorry.
Number 2 or something maybe.
We're just going to start calling Brian the B-man.
The B-man.
I did want to just say one thing with this issue. When I was researching and looking online, and I noticed this, there were people get the LMS commit error. There have been suggestions of adding a catch for the exception handled and redirecting the user to a different page to prevent, because when they see the pop-up for, like, if you leave, you might lose progress, but they can be redirected to a new page. That way the window doesn't close out completely. I could look more into that, but I found something like that. I thought that maybe that might be something that could be implemented as well.
You might have noticed a pop-up that did come up when I hit the X out of the window. We already do that.
Okay, well, I was just saying the one I saw was that they get redirected to a page with more information. I don't know if it's something that can be more clearly delivered to them, and because they would just click leave and they're not really reading the message there.
well, I think the first thing I need to do is have the SCORM file corrected. And I'll have them run that one through the LMS sandbox. And check it.
Yeah. And I mean, and the thing is too, like we just always have to assume that the internet is an unreliable partner. And so browsers crash, but yeah, the LMS cannot control whether or not the course calls LMS commit. That has to be done. And I mean, there's good reasons for it. It's to give course developers a lot of leverage on how they do the thing that they do. But yeah. Okay. Anything else?
That's it.
Nothing on my end.
Okay.
I did want to give Sue a few times next week where we could meet and we can walk her through campus and make sure she has access and knows how to look people up and things like that. We have either noon or 3 o'clock Eastern time on either Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday. So either noon or 3 Eastern time on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, whichever one works best for you, Sue.
Okay. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? You said?
Right, at either noon or
Or,
3 o'clock
yeah.
Eastern time. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'll get back to you on that, okay?
Okay, all right, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay. Okay, well, if there's nothing else, well, I'm glad we got the sandbox set up, Keith. And that'll make things a lot easier. Paul, if they have any other questions about the LMS commit stuff, just don't hesitate to contact me.
Sure. Hey, Dan, I think you'll be seeing us next weekend in Orlando.
Oh, okay. Are you guys
Is it
gonna?
this weekend or next weekend?
It's well, it starts on Monday,
On Monday it starts.
Tuesday, and Wednesday.
I have the day off of work.
Yeah, give us a call. We'll hook up for lunch or something.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. I do have your cell phone number, correct? When I
Either me
call,
or- yeah, you got mine. You called me, or you can call Doug. He'll be there.
I remember.
Awesome.
Okay. Yes, you're in my contacts. Okay. All right. Great.
Okay, awesome. Good deal. Okay, guys, appreciate everybody. Have a great weekend, and we'll talk to everyone on the internet.
Okay.
All right,
thank
thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.